My name is Optimus Prime.
So I've been getting really into Transformers Prime again. Like, I was always quite a fan of it. I bought the first edition Bulkhead and the Deluxe RC and the Deluxe Ratchet like ages ago, like probably like 7 years or so ago. But my Transformers shelf has always been a bit because I've always like gone for G1, but then I got the Earthrise Optimus and I sort of realized, why not just go for my personal favorite versions of the characters? Like, I love Transformers Prime Optimus, and I love Transformers Prime Megatron. He's so good. And I picked up the RID Megatron and the first edition Optimus, and the first edition Optimus is absolutely incredible. Like, just look at this. He transforms, and the back kibble is like, it's almost perfectly flat. This is like a mini masterpiece. But I already repainted the head here. You can probably see the eyes a little bit clearer because originally he had light piping, as you can see here, but I've personally never really been a fan of light piping because they usually just look a bit dead or powered off, so to speak, and I wanted them to constantly have like eye light going on, so I just did that, but it was too fiddly to do on camera, so I just took a picture. But anyway, enough rambling. So I'm gonna repaint this figure here to be a little bit more accurate. I don't like this brownish, I don't know if you can see, but the plastic is really brown here for some reason. Maybe that was the closest Hasbro had to metal plastic, I don't know. But this is Vallejo gunmetal and this is Vallejo silver. And I'm just gonna use them to the best of my abilities and see what I can do. First off, let's do the majority of it, which is gonna be the darker gunmetal color. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna detach these bits here, and we'll start with okay, so I've never actually transformed this guy because I got him just like a week ago or so, but I'm just gonna go over the entire bit here. Maybe I should have based this in black. We're gonna do some highlights here with silver anyway, so... Actually, we might be doing a black wash. I don't really know. Once again, I don't really plan ahead. I just start and hope things are gonna turn out alright. Something I like about using metallic paints is that the coverage is usually really, really good. You don't really need to do it. Like, some colors are just really bad to paint with, like yellow is infamous for being absolutely atrocious, but metallics, probably because they have like metal flakes in them, I don't really know how metallic paint works, but they usually cover really well. And it's always... it usually yearns like a really, really good result. I love painting metallics. I don't really get a chance to do it that much though, but when I do get a chance, it's like heaven. Seeing as this is a transformer, I'm pretty sure there are also ways to disassemble the entire piece and just paint it up like that, but I'm quite inexperienced when it comes to painting transformers, so I don't really know, and I'm too lazy to look up a guide, so I'm just gonna sort of wing it. Can I detach? Oh! Well, this makes everything easier. So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do a black wash, and then we're gonna highlight in silver. Well, we're not really gonna highlight it per se, we're just gonna do a dry brush, which is like lazy highlighting, I guess. If I can, I want to try to avoid painting over this yellow because I don't want to repaint it. Not really a fan of the translucent blue windows though. I would prefer if they were just tinted black, honestly. They are in the show, I know that. I also should have prepped this figure, I'm noticing, because the plastic is really like it's really like slippery almost, and the paint doesn't really want to stick, but when this dries up, this is gonna be perfect because it's almost like a primer. The metallic paint is a bit uneven, so the paint will have plenty of stuff to grab onto. So there we go with the first layer, and I painted these off camera because I figured no one would really care about, you know, just like these flat surfaces of me going over and over. So let's go on to the bits that are actually gonna show. So these bits here, ugly brown bits. So this entire area won't be like gunmetal. I'm gonna try to vary it up here between the silver and the gunmetal to create some contrast. Just looking at them, these bits here, like these like bigger areas, I think I'm gonna go with like the silver, and I'm gonna mix in a tiny bit of white just to get those a little bit brighter. I think they're supposed to mirror, you know, G1 Optimus has like white stripes. I think it's supposed to like give a little hint of that. But for now, let's just drench everything in this gunmetal. It's not a very interesting video now, is it? It's just me basically slathering everything in this metallic paint. It is making a massive difference though. I don't really understand why Hasbro did make these first edition figures, and then they just sort of like they nailed it with the transformations and the just overall looks of the characters, but come on, some metallic paint, would that be so much to ask for, Hasbro? Instead you go for brown. Like, why brown? Just like grey. Like, you used a perfectly fine grey here. I mean, it looks a bit toyetic, I guess, but still, I would take that over dark brown. Plus, when I was actually painting it, it would be easier to cover it up. So this paint, it dries pretty fast, and then you can just immediately go over and give it a second layer, and the coverage will be excellent. Because then the first layer sort of acts like a primer. I'm doing my best to avoid these yellow headlights. Also, while we're at it, can I just give a massive shout out to Peter Cullen? Like, in literally everything I've heard him in, he's never been bad as Optimus. Like, no matter how bad the source material is, or whatever the source material is, he's just nailing it. He's giving it his all. Okay, so now we've done some progress with like the gunmetal and all these detailed parts next to his head. So now we're gonna take this non-oil right here, the paint wash. We're just gonna take it down into the crevices, like so. So the bits I'm doing now are actually supposed to be chrome, but because I don't have chrome, silver will have to do, so... A slight minus with painting metallics with a brush is that the paint does tend to get a little bit lumpy, but I don't really mind all that much. They are, you know, war robots in general, so... I feel like some irregularities would be fine. Also, try and move your hand.
Sorry, my bad.
No, it's fine. So, as you can see, those bits are slightly brighter than the rest of the body now. I think we're just gonna like give here like a little highlight in the middle. Give the edges a little bit of silver. Not much at all, just ever so slightly. Now I got curious. I mixed some white with the silver. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of an extra highlight. Because I really want these bits here to pop in comparison to the rest of the metal on his torso. Okay, so these bits that I've left unpainted are supposed to be like the same sort of lightish silver, so I'm just gonna go straight onto it with silver. Okay, so that was boring. I painted every single like grey bit into well, metal, and I also did these tires here and the smokestacks, and some parts I'm going to use some Nuln oil on because I want some detail. So we just take the Nuln oil, plenty on the brush like so. And for instance, I want all the holes on the smokestack here to be black. So, what I want to do now is, if you watch Transformers Prime, and every single time there's like a close-up, you can see that they all have some random scuffs here and there, like none of them are perfectly clean. So we're just gonna gently go along the edges here. Just pretty much dry brush all the edges where like battle damage and scuffing would occur. Just like you can see, he's still very much primarily red. There's just some scuffing, and I quite like this effect myself. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think it's quite effective. And like I said, it does break up all this extreme. Just makes it look less plasticky. I feel like especially down here by the feet we can be a little bit heavier because a whole lot of like running around and stuff is going on here. I think we can actually go one step even further. We can maybe just do a little bit of the same like dotting technique but with some brown maybe. Just get a feeling of some gunk and stuff. So I thought it was finished, but then it turns out that there are actually several things on the head that are just either plain out wrong or simply not painted. And so there's quite a lot of silver in the show model, and they completely omitted that from the figure, so I'm gonna add the silver parts. So this crest up here is actually silver. Sorry about that, I needed to go over my reference picture again, but yeah, this crest is indeed silver, and I think it's just a bit inaccurate in general, like the entire shape of it, but oh well. Something I noticed is that the studios, not the studio series, the first edition figures, they are really good in terms of like robot to vehicle mode, but usually the head sculpts are better on the later releases, like they're closer to the show. Starscream is a very good example. The Voyager figure has a lot more accurate head sculpt on the first edition figure. So I have the first edition figure, but I'm trying to get my hands on the Voyager just so I can do a head swap, because that head is pretty undersized. There's also been some leaks that the RED line, the Transformers toys that don't transform, I hear that they're gonna get a Transformers Prime Optimus and a Megatron, and I might pick those guys up just for the head sculpts. I mean, I'm putting in a lot of effort here because I don't know, but I might just do a head swap when those figures arrive. So these side bits here are actually silver too. Okay, so while we wait for this paint wash to dry, there's also something I noticed. Optimus has some quite some distinct eyebrows in Transformers Prime, so I'm just gonna paint them in. They're not really sculpted. I've seen the Weaponizer Prime have like them actually sculpted on accurately, but I'm just gonna like half it really. So I got this gunmetal gray again, mixed with black, and I'm just gonna... No, I want them even darker. Let's just go with straight up black. It's really difficult to like see, but... Oh yeah, that actually does look pretty good, because you can see like the eyebrow. Yeah, let's just do that on the other side too. Okay, so with the head now complete, well, most everything complete really. There's just one more thing that really bugs me, and that is the windows. I don't like these light blue, ticky, see-through windows, so I'm just gonna tint them black. So what I've done is I've diluted a whole, like, very, very much diluted this black paint. And I'm just gonna try to avoid getting brush strokes. You can see how watery this paint is. And most likely I'm gonna have to do 2 coats, or 3, or 4. Yeah, we'll let that dry and then we'll do another layer.
So I went and tweaked a few things here and there, like I got rid of those yellow headlights and just painted them silver, and I did some additional like dirt detailing, and I removed some of the silver scuffing because I thought I went a bit overboard. But really, I am perfectly content with this being my Optimus Prime. I'm really happy with him and I can't wait to start a Megatron. So till all are one, and hope you enjoy the video.
Autobots, transform and roll out.